We're here from the set of the World Poker Tour for the $10,000 buy-in Bellagio Cup III's main event. After almost 8 hours of final table play, it came down to Kevin below above Saul and Mike Mattisau heads up. In the end, it was Kevin that came out triumphant, and we got to interview with him. We're here with the winner of the Bellagio Cup III's $10,000 buy-in main event, Kevin.
WPT main event.
WPT main event. You wanted to make
Poker
sure.
Tour this year, just added. So yeah, of course I want to make sure.
So you went into the final table with a big chip lead, and then you told me on break that you might have gone in with too big of a head. What happened?
I definitely went in with too big of a head, and I made a play on Danny Wong, and I doubled him up with King Jack versus Aces, which wasn't very smart, especially since my initial read was Aces, and I went away from that read. But I had a good shot, and I got the money in, so I at least had 4 outs. But and then at that point, I just really pressed, and I was just trying to win a pot, and they wouldn't let me win a pot, and I couldn't hit a flop, and no one was folding, and I definitely, I thought it was going to be a lot easier, but come on, everyone knows I never make it easy on the stomach, on myself, you know.
Well, you came back from that and eventually doubled up on Danny. Was that the turning point of the final table for you?
Actually, I doubled up with the Jack 10 of diamonds after I got down to, I was probably down to like 800 or 900 to start the hand versus Shane Schlegler, who check raised me with ace high, and I knew he had ace high, but I knew my Jack high couldn't win at showdown, so like I was kind of wary about putting my money in, but I knew I had at least 12 outs twice, unless he had a bigger flush draw. But peel the diamond on the turn and no more worries, and then when we were three-handed with Danny, wow, that was just such a relief to.
When he was out.
Yeah, the way I played.
Was he their toughest opponent?
By far. I mean, I just never had a read on the kid. The kid's a superstar. He's so good. No disrespect to any of the other players. I barely played with him in this tournament before the final table. No disrespect to any other players, because Shane and Mike both played great, and the other two guys, to be honest, I felt they were going to go off 5th and 6th, and it'd be the 4 of us anyways. But I never had a read on Danny, and I've played millions of hands with Shane online, and I kind of had a game plan for Mike, so I knew how bad he wanted it, so I knew he was going to have it, when his chips went in. And so, I was just going to play accordingly, and I knew he'd want to play small pots, so I was going to try and make him play a little bigger pots. But I got short, and then I got doubled up, and I was like right back with everyone else, so I couldn't really be super aggressive on everyone. So.
Well, you said you had a game plan for Mike. Did you feel confident then when you went heads up with him?
Yeah, I knew he was going to try, especially when I just started raising every button. I raised a couple of his button limps, and eventually he finally saw a flop. I think I took the first 5 or 6 out of 7 hands pre-flop, and the first hand I think I had 7 deuce heads up, but I could totally tell he was doing exactly what I thought. I was kind of mad at myself for not talking to Gavin and asking him what he thought Mike would do heads up.
Gavin Griffin?
Yeah, seeing if we had the same thoughts. But I really felt he was going to try and chip away in small pots and get his money in as a favorite, and he did. He had an open-ended straight flush draw, 2 running trip draws, so he was definitely a slight favorite on that flop, but I had the best hand technically, and I somehow dodged it. I think it's partially because Mike's the unluckiest guy in poker. I truly believe that now watching this tournament, but he played his ass off too. I'm sorry.
No, it's quite all right. Well, you're a big online player. When you play heads up in big tournaments, they don't dump all the money out. There's no cameras. Did that affect your play at all?
Not at all. I was just looking back at my mom and my stepdad to see their reaction. Because, I've seen it on TV. I was ready for it. I knew there was a bunch of ones underneath the hundreds anyway, so that didn't really affect me. And I just...
No, that's not really true.
Oh, yeah. I didn't mean that.
So throughout this series, we've been talking about the Aurora and the 6-4 suited hand.
Didn't pick it up once at the final table.
Not once? Were you nervous that Mike Mattisau's hand was similar to that hand on that final hand?
No, I honestly...
Didn't even think about it?
I honestly thought he might have had a pair and a flush draw, which he was also a favorite versus me, or just a 10. But I really made a mistake in the last hand, because my buddy Ape Style said like an hour and a half ago he was going to, hop in the shower and be on his way over.
Yeah, you kept talking about Ape.
And, the last hand, before I made a bet on the flop, I said, where's the ape? Someone tell him to get here. It could be over soon. And I made my bet, and Mike moved in, and he knew I had a big hand too. And I snap called him. I'm not folding queens heads up there on a 10 high board. He had the draw, he missed. Unlucky, bud.
That's it for our coverage of the Bellagio Cup III's tournament series. As you can see, they're kicking us out, so we gotta go. But make sure to check back on cardplayer.com and Cardplayer TV when we go to the Bicycles Casino for the Legends of Poker in August. I'm Christy Arnett for Cardplayer TV. I'll see you at the poker tables.